Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server. They've given us a little bit of a pre-look at the new patch stuff that's going on right now, or is due to happen, I guess, this Thursday. So we're going to start in this video by looking at the new champions that have come in. This is going to be a fusion, which is an old school fusion. So if players are quite new here, you might not have even ever seen one. What we used to have is a fusion where you had to collect all of the rares, which then got fused into all of the epics, and then the epics get fused into your legendary. Back in the day, actually, I was talking to a couple of guys about this. Back in the day, there used to be a case that you might already own champions that were part of the fusion. And I think that actually used to take quite a bit of this grind away from a fusion, thinking, Christ, I've got to get everything to get this to happen. You know, back in the day, it might be like, yes, I've got 3 of the rares, or, you know, damn, I've got 1 of the epics already. And I do wonder if Raid should consider that. You know, if perhaps they won't. Perhaps they won't. But it's definitely something which I think has upped this feeling of fusions are a never-ending grind. But anyway, I'm going to go through all the champions that have been added into the game, including those fusion champions right now. I'm also dropping another video at the same time with a big surprise for this patch that is coming on Thursday, which none of us saw coming. So I'll link that at the end of this one. Before we get into the Raid Champions, I just want to let you know there will be a live premiere on the Fateless YouTube channel at 3 p.m. UTC. I'll link it down below as well, where we get to see one of the champions being created from scratch. If you love anything to do with art and design for champions, I suggest you come and watch this video. I'll be live in the chat at the same time, and we can kind of talk through the marvel of some of the quality of these artists. Anyway, let's get into talk about champs. Okay, let's get into it. So I'll start off with the rare that's coming in, and this basically means it's a void rare. It's the only rare that's been added on the test server, so I can only assume that you're going to need 16 copies of this rare, and it's void, which means you're going to need to do a whole bunch of void keep farming, because with old school fusions, you have to take rares up to level 4-star, level 40, and ascend them to 4-star. So there's a whole bunch of small pots that's going to be needed on the void side of things here to get this done. We've got ourselves a very chicken-looking lizard here. But there you go. Right, what's this guy? Terex the Restless. Kind of like an Aztec-style vibe to this guy. I like it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. So for a rare, quite decent defense, decent speed. Rares, they don't make them like they used to. Like, this is old school epic stats. You know, we've seen this power curve come into the game. Most rares that are coming in nowadays, people are like, damn, we can actually use this rare. So I guess good effort. Void rare though. A1, attacks an enemy, places increased accuracy on himself for 2 turns. The small version. Okay. A2 is an AoE provoke. 75% when booked. Honestly, like, it's better than most epics. That's a really high chance to provoke. It's on a 4-turn cooldown, which is kind of long, but for waves of enemies, that's really good. Like for Lizardmen as well. Lizardmen struggle a bit with, I think there's a secret room, which is lizards only, right? Or maybe that might be epics only. But anyway, even in Faction Wars, lizards are quite weak, and a control champion as an epic, a rare that is got damage based on defense and a pretty tanky build. Damn, actually good. And then we've got his A3 here, puts a strengthen on all allies and counterattack on himself. Weak source strengthen, but still strengthen there. It's basically just saying you'll take 15% less damage. It's not a bad rare at all. 3-turn cooldown on this. A1's a bit weird, like the accuracy buff on himself. I guess he'll get it because of the counterattack. Maybe it's not that weird, actually. He'll get his counterattack. If he gets hit, he will retaliate with the A1, give himself more accuracy, and then he goes in with his provoke. It's kind of good. Kind of well thought out rare. Okay, look. I guess the other question is, would we rather get this guy than Wixwell? No. He's not that good, but he's kind of decent. Like, if you're not someone who's going to be going after the Vault Keeper, then this is not a bad rare to pick up. Okay, let's look at the epic. The epic is in Sylvan Watchers. Arwid. Fantasy vibe. She's got a dagger, an axe, and a bow. She's got plenty of weaponry here. Kind of got a Gelflink vibe. Again, looks cool though. Yeah, cool look. Okay, so Arwid Quivergrass. I'm assuming then she thinks she's an archer, but she definitely looks like she's wielding an axe to me. She's an attack-based epic. Kind of decent attack. Quite squishy base stats on defense and HP. And she's 4. So for the epics then, because this is the only epic I've got on my list, I'm assuming that we're going to make 16 of those rares into 4 of these epics. So you're going to need a good amount. And we'll put all of this on hellhades.com, how many pots exactly that you need. But we're going to need a good amount of force pots here and quite a lot of the bigger ones. Yeah, so bear that in mind in terms of your prep for this fusion if you're going after Wixwell. You also need a bunch more silver when you're doing this style of fusion because you have to pay to fuse these champs. And it's worth saying as well, when we get into the fusion, when you're fusing the rares into the epics, they do count towards your champion chase. So, you know, you could sometimes get 2 or 3 epics over the line during a champion chase. That's like 1,000 odd points. So, but like 750 points. So actually pretty good. Okay, what's going on here? Attacks an enemy, 50% chance of stealing a random buff. Attacks all enemies. Before attacking, removes all buffs from this champion. Oh, sorry, all debuffs from this champion. And then, if booked, 100% chance of removing a random buff from enemies as well. It's okay on a 3-turn. Kind of depends how hard it hits, really, whether this is worth it. But then we've kind of got a lot of AoE decent hitting epics with empowerment coming. Maybe that's something to consider. But yeah, just straight out damage dealer right now. Cleanses herself of debuffs before attacking. So if she had like a decrease attack on, that won't happen. It will be removed, which is quite nice. And then here we've got on the A3, Axe Leap. This is, so maybe she's using a bow here, but then an axe here. Attacks an enemy, 4-turn cooldown. Damage increases by 30% if this champion's got no active debuffs. Will ignore unkillable as well. Okay. If she's got no active debuffs. I mean, if it hits hard, pretty cool. Can take down someone who shouldn't be able to die. You know, anti-Swift parry. Not that Swift parry's... Maybe Swift parry's coming back. I don't know. I don't know, honestly. But I don't think so. And then we've got a passive here. This champion's accuracy is increased by 50 if they got no active debuffs. I'd say, like, feels kind of meh epic unless she's got some crazy multipliers going on. Like, doesn't feel like a, oh, you should grab this one. Is it like a her or Wixwell type of thing? Not for me. So I think that's pretty plain. Okay, let's get on to the legendaries then. There is one in here. Glakad. Is he a nice dude? Cool. I do like the visuals of the Sylvan Watchers generally. Like, kind of like a tree stroke man type vibe. Pretty sweet. Okay. He's a support. He's got very quick base speed, 112. Good defense, good HP for a support. Lots of support type champs in this faction though. A1, double hit. Each hit, 50% chance to freeze. If the target's got low health, cannot be resisted. Okay. A2, increase attack on all allies. And Perfect Veil. This is particularly rare as a buff for your whole team. I think there's like a handful, less than 5 champions that do this right now. Very good actually for Hydra. This has got no relevance for Hydra at all. But Perfect Veil and increased attack, it's kind of basically like a Duchess style move. But you're also grabbing a turn meter here as well. Yeah, I like this. So it's Perfect Veil for all champions except him, which means that basically what he's doing is he's hiding the rest of your team and he will be the focal point of damage. A bit like Tatora does. We've then got a revive with some HP and turn meter. It's not the highest, 25% turn meters, like okay. If it's booked, it's on a 4-turn. Places increased accuracy and increased defense for 3 turns. The only thing with this is it's going to revive even if no one is dead. So you get the buffs, or you'll get the buffs generally, and then if someone's dead, you'll get the revive as well. If no allies were revived by this skill, and you get an extra turn though, I actually like that. That's actually cool. Okay, I like the way they've done that. So it goes on for 3 turns, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown, which means that he's one of the few champions in the game that can keep increased defense up non-stop. That's actually a very big skill, along with increased accuracy. It's actually a really good clan boss skill. Also, having the ability to make sure that he tanks a stun by putting Perfect Veil on everyone else. It's on a 4-turn, it's not ideal, but it's also pretty cool. Interesting, like, I'm not really sure where this guy's designed for. He's just like a general good support, I think. We've then got allies under Perfect Veil buff placed by this champion deal more damage. That's cool as well. Allies under Perfect Veil buff placed by this champion deal an additional 10% damage to enemies under Veil or Perfect Veil. Okay. Where's he meant for, do you think? Is he thought of as like a live arena dude? I'm not really sure where he's meant for. Speed in all battles. I think he's just a general okay to good champion. Like, not a specific area of the game that he's great at, but pretty solid in most areas of the game. Okay, let's check out, I'll just check out Wixworld quick and see if there's anything new that we need to know here. I've done a video on him anyway, so I'm not going to spend too long here. Is there anything different? Massive base defense. We didn't know this. Massive base defense, nearly 1,500, and quite huge HP as well at nearly 20k. I haven't seen the animations on him either. The chest like lighting up. They have done honestly a cool job of this guy. I know some people saying, oh, he's overhyped. Maybe he's overhyped. I don't think so. I think he's going to be a quality champion. So we know about his skills. We've seen his skills already. We've got the provoke, buffs up. We've got the AoE decrease attack with the shield growth. And then we've got the initial shield and increased defense along with intercept. We've got a passive here as well with the counterattack. So we chose all this stuff. We know about it. Defense in all battles, 28%. It's very high, or it's decent. Yeah, this guy is well worth picking up, I think, as a fusion if you can. I'll go through his fusion plan once it comes out. Let me know down below. So feels like he's very Hydra or clan boss focused. What do you want to see? Like, do you want to see him paired with Brogni and see insane shield growth with the two of them going? Do you want to see him just like paired with a bunch of low cost champs? Like, let me know where you want to see him. But I'm definitely thinking something clan boss, something Hydra whilst I've got the test server available. Okay, then let's check out the rest of the legendaries first. We've got one in the Night Revs. Diath. Yeah, nice. Nice clean look. Raid do shields like obscenely well. Obscenely well. I really like the way Raid do shields, like better than any game in this genre by a mile. Defense-based champ, 1400 defense, which is high. High base speed as well. What's going on with this one? Attacks an enemy, places an extra hit on enemies under decreased crit rate or decreased crit damage placed by her. So she's obviously going to do that. The extra hit is always normal and will ignore 50% target defense. Bit weird. Bit weird. Also places increased defense on this champion for 2 turns. I wonder if that's after. It's a bit of a strange ability, very conditional, and the extra hit being a normal hit is kind of sucky. AoE then, before attacking, increases the duration of all ally buffs. Getting quite a few more of these coming in now. Damage inflicted by this skill increases by 5% for each buff that had its duration increased. Wow, that could be nuts on a 3-turn. If it depends if this is capped, but if you imagine how many buffs you're increasing potentially, let's say you've got a team of 5 or 6. Let's say you're in Hydra, team of 6, and you're increasing, I don't know, 6 buffs on each. 36 times 5%. What the hell even is that? 180% more damage. That could end up being an insane skill for like Hydra or for clan boss, honestly. What else is going on? Places reflect damage and ally protect on all allies for 2 turns. Also places strengthen and increase resistance on her for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Feels like she could end up being a pretty nutty clan boss addition to Wixwell, honestly. Whenever an ally under reflect buff is attacked, place decreased crit rate and decreased crit damage on the attacker for 2 turns. Cannot be resisted. No accuracy required. Goes on for 2 turns as well, which should mean that you're almost always double hitting here. Ooh, this is a really interesting champion. Okay, cool. Very interesting legendary. I like the kit a lot. I mean, legendaries now, it's like someone was saying to me, with mythicals coming in, you know, void legendaries used to be the big champion, especially for arena. Now it's mythicals. You know, our normal legendaries like the old epics. Is that why they're allowing empowered epics? What's next? Let's check out the Barbarian. Who else we got? Sylvan Watcher. That's just someone I already got. Let's check out the Barbarian. So this is going to be one of the faction dudes. You know, the ones who kind of like are insane with the banners. Dune Lord Gregor. Again, knocking it out the park with the visuals. I guess he's got some sort of bear affinity. He's got the nice golden base as well, showing that he's the faction dude. Very thin axe. Right, what's going on? Nearly 1,500 defense. Like, these numbers just getting bigger and bigger. Attacks an enemy, 50% chance to provoke. Attacks all enemies. Decreases duration of enemy buffs and increase in ally buffs. Another one. Also places shield equal to 20% of this champion's max HP, which will be decent but not crazy. Okay, here comes his like barbarian unity stuff. Gives increased attack and increased accuracy on a 6-turn, books to 4. The first, so one other faction ally decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by a turn, like a Painkeeper. 2 faction allies also gives the turn meter feel 20%. 3 faction allies activates instant turn on the ally with the highest crit damage, which will be, I guess he's been built for like a Hydra insane team. You know, like the Trunda teams, just activate the Trunda, off you go. Like, they are doubling down on that type of stuff. I guess we don't have Trunda though in this faction. Like, who is it you're activating here? Or who are you using in this faction to set up your Hydra plays if you're going to do that? And is that just someone from this faction? I don't think it's just someone from this faction. So 3 allies gives an instant turn just to an ally with highest crit damage. It doesn't say from this faction here. So I think you can do it to anyone. So you just need to bring 3 allies along. You know, you've got Tahanorax, a great Hydra champ. Kantra's not bad. The Archer's brilliant if you picked her up, if you're able to. But getting 3 is tricky. I mean, if you've got a Laz, he's probably in there. But I don't know. Interesting one. Oh, wrong dude. Interesting one. And then we've got here on the passive, Desert Monolith. When attacked, 20% chance of placing Provoke on the attacker once per hit. And then we've got the Unity stuff. So if you've got 1 faction ally, allies deal 25% more damage to enemies with any sort of control, including the Provoke. Damn, that's pretty nuts. If there are multiple enemies on the champions on this team with the skill, yeah, okay, only does it once. Oh man, so you pair him with Armands in the arena, and things just got kind of gross. So if there's 2 of the same faction, allies ignore 50% target resistance when applying stun, sleep and stuff. Damn, is this guy meant to double down Armands? And if there's 3 of the same faction, when counterattacking, instant effects and debuffs placed by ally skills cannot be resisted or blocked when counterattacking. So it's only stuff which is on the A1s. Okay. Still pretty nutty though. What's he got here? Defense in all battles, accuracy in all battles as well for Barbs. I mean, damn, the creep carries on. The power creep carries on, honestly. What else have we got here? We've got a Void Legendary in Senna. So a Dwarf Void Legendary added to the game. Very fast against you to support. 113 speed. 1200 defense. Nearly 19k attack. HP. But her skills are based on attack in terms of damage. Not that she hits a lot. Okay. Attacks an enemy. 50% chance to instantly activate a heal. Places a big increased speed with continuous heals 2. And a turn meter feel. This is like more solid, just support stuff. Full team revive with 50% HP and turn meter. Then teams up with allies revived to attack the enemy with the lowest HP using default skills. Then we got a passive. Whenever a continuous heal activates, fills turn meter of all allies by 5%. At the end of this champion's turn, increases duration of a continuous heal by a turn. Speed in all battles. By today's standard, that feels like an okay champion. You know, if we'd gone back 2 years, we'd be like, oh my God, this is crazy stuff. But with the crazy stuff we see nowadays, that just feels like, okay, it's a Void Legendary support of about the right power level. Damn, that's where we got to. Last one then is the second mythical champion. Has everybody got a mythical now? Is that where we're at? Maybe they do. Yeah, in fact, not the first. We've also got 2 here as well. Okay, I'm out of date. So, mythical Galeas, who is the chicken. Cool skin, of course. I love any of these animal skins, man. They do a great job of this. Pretty damn sweet. Look at this. Dual-wielding chicken. I like it. As I said earlier, like mythicals are coming in now as like the new Void Legendary, really. They're taking over Arena. 100 speed, 101, nearly 1500 defense, 22k HP. And he's a defense-based chicken in his first form. Galeas Bloodcrest. So what we got here? Decreased speed A1. When counterattacking, the damage inflicted by this skill is based on this champion's defense and the enemy's max HP. Does that mean it's a max HP hit? I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. I don't know. If it's an enemy max HP counterattack, then damn. That could end up being a bit nuts. AoE provoke. So 3-turn cooldown, provoke. If the target's a boss, the provoke goes on for 2 turns. Also places unkillable and counterattack on himself for 2 turns. Fully restores all allies destroyed max HP. Puts revive on death and increased defense on all allies on a 3-turn. So feels kind of Hydra-like to me. Feels like they built him as a Hydra champion on this first form. The passive reflects 50% of the damage this champion receives back to the attacker. If the attacker is a boss, reflects 100% and heals him. Let's see what the second form's like. Blue and lightning-esque. He's gone full Thor on us in his second form. Still defense-based, same stats. Attacks an enemy, places an extra hit on enemies under decreased defense. This could end up being a massive smack. He's got the decreased defense here. Before attacking, places decreased defense, so he does it before he attacks. Increases damage for every enemy under decreased defense and steals 20% turn meter. Why not? The A3 is another AoE, so 2 AoEs in this form. Damage increases by 15% for each buff on a target and decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns. Does need accuracy for this. Does need accuracy for this. Enemies under drop defense cannot place stun or any of the nasty debuffs, any of the control debuffs on you. Resets the cooldown of Sundered Sky, which is the drop defense ability, if any enemy under decreased defense is killed by Sundered Sky, I guess. Also resets the cooldown of Sonic Torture if anyone under decreased defense is killed by Sonic Torture. So if you kill anyone under drop defense, then he's just going to get that skill back again. Why not? Defense in all battles. I don't know. I mean, a lot depends on how crazy they've made his multipliers. He does need accuracy to do the things in his kit, which makes it harder to build him as like a full nuke. Like these dual builds, normally in Mythicals, honestly, it's just like, oh, you don't even need accuracy for this. It's all, accuracy doesn't exist anymore. So we'll see. But there you go. 8 new champions in the game. 3 of them to do with the fusion. And the rest of them are legendary and above. What do you think? I've been Hell Hades. Don't forget to watch the next video where we talk about the patch surprise.